Shabbos Yom Kippur. We have a special shiur this week. We haven't given the shiur here in a couple of weeks. We're happy to be back in our location. But this Shabbos, as we know, will be Yom HaKippurim. So you might say, of course, everyone knows it's Yom Kippur. Did I come here tonight to give you the news that this Shabbos is going to be Yom Kippur? And really, my answer to that question is that you're very right. And you know why you're right? Because almost every Jew in the world knows in some way that this Shabbos, tomorrow night, is going to be Yom Kippur. And whether they fast the entire day or they don't fast the entire day, but I venture to say that Yom Kippur is one of those days that almost every Jew in the world knows in some way that it is Yom Kippur. But the question is, though, do we really know what Yom Kippur is about? Do we really know what we could accomplish this Yom Kippur? Yeah, very good, very nice. Everybody knows tomorrow night is Yom Kippur. But what does Yom Kippur mean? The pasuk in Parshas Achrei Mos, which we will lay in Mirz Hashem on Yom Kippur morning, the pasuk tells us, Ki vayoyim hazeh yichaper aleichem. On this day, we get a kapara. Hashem, in His infinite chesed, set up a day called Yom Kippur. Ki vayoyim hazeh yichaper aleichem, litaher eschem, mikol chatoiseichem, Lifnei Hashem Titaru. This is a pasuk we're going to lay in the Kriyas HaTorah of the morning of Yom Kippur. The Nesivos Shalom tells us that if you look at this pasuk actually has three different parts. The pasuk has Ki vayoyim hazeh yechaper aleichem. This kapara is one part of the pasuk. The next part of the pasuk is l'taher eschem. Besides the kapara, there's also a tahara. And then the last part of the pasuk tells us, Lifnei Hashem Titaru, which would seemingly be another type of tahara, because the pasuk already told us, L'taher eschem, that will be tar. The end of the pasuk is, Lifnei Hashem Titaru. It must be a different type of tahara. We see three different parts of the pasuk. And the Chidah, in Nachal Kidumim, the Chidah tells us that when a person, unfortunately, when a person does Aveira, you should know that there are different parts of an Aveira too. A Chet brings contamination, so to speak, to the outside and the inside of a person. Two different types of things that a Chet does. And when a person does tshuva, you know what you're able to do when you do tshuva? You're able to erase the outer blemish. A person does a simple tshuva, you're able to erase the outside blemish that comes to a person when they do an Aveira. But to take care of the inner blemishes, tells us the Nesivos Shalom from the Chidah, that to take care of the inner blemishes, we need another level, a special siyata d'shmaya and light of Hashem to be able to get inside and take care of and to cleanse the inner blemish that a chet does. It's a little bit of a bigger effort than just a simple tshuva. But the Nesivos Shalom tells us that besides the outer and inner blemish that an Aveira does to a person, there is also a third thing. And that is the third type of tahara, and that is the cleansing for Kadesh Atzmacha B'Mutar. There is a deeper cleansing that every person on Yom Kippur needs. The commandment of Kedoshim Tiyu is there. Besides the commandment not to do an Aveira, there's a special commandment that every single Jew has of Kedoshim Tiyu. To be careful with things that are technically not usher. But because of Kedoshim Tiyu, the special way that we are expected to behave, the unique and special way that every Jew is expected to act, something about the Maisa which we are going to do does not smell right. And that's a whole different madrega. Imagine, says the Nesivos Shalom, the following. A person wants to approach the king. We want to take a person into the king, the president, whatever you want to say. And this person is clean. He's not dirty at all. And you know what? He hasn't even transgressed any of the laws of the country. But there's one problem with this person. You know what the problem is? The problem is that that person might have a bad smell. So the person is not dirty. He hasn't transgressed any of the laws. Can we bring this person into the king? Can we bring this person into the president? The answer, of course, is that you cannot. You can't bring this person in. Why? Because it's not respectful. That, says in the Nesivos Shalom, is kedoshim to you. We want to be people that are in front of Hashem. And if you want to be people that can face Hashem, that can come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Yom Kippur, not only do we have to take off the inner and outer effects of an Aveira, we need to be people that understand what Kedoshim Tiyu means. We need to know that Yom Kippur comes and gives us an opportunity to have kapara on all three stages. We need to be people of Lifnei Hashem Titaru. We want to be able to stand in front of Hashem. We need to also cleanse ourselves from the things that Kedoshim Tiyu prevents us from doing. And when Yom Kippur comes, it gives us an opportunity to have a kapara on all three of these things, says in Nesivos Shalom. First of all, there's Kivayoim Hazeh Yichaper Aleichem. This is the outer blemish, the surface part that an Aveira does. And then there's the second thing of the pasuk. We split that pasuk into three different sections. The second thing is l'tahar eschem. That's the inner tumah. It requires a little more tahara. It requires a little more concentration, a little more tshuva on our part. That is the second stage of the pasuk. And then there is the third part of the pasuk of Lifnei Hashem Titaru. Where because when we come on Yom Kippur, we want to stand before Hashem. We want to stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We need to be forgiven also for the things that we may have done that weren't wrong, but they didn't smell right. And it could be, as we've mentioned in the past when speaking about Kedoshim, it could be how a person talks. It could be how we talk, how we eat, how we dress, how we act to our friends, how we act to our family. Maybe it's not usher, but you know, it may, although it's not usher, it doesn't smell right. And then we become just like that person who can't go to the king. He didn't break any laws. He's not even dirty, but he has a bad smell. There's something about us that can't go in front of the king. There's something about us that can't face and can't stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu tomorrow night. So you should know that Yom Kippur comes, and Yom Kippur, right away, we want to concentrate on this, the beginning of Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur gives us an opportunity to rectify that too. Yom Kippur gives us, Kivayoim Hazeh Yichaper Aleichem, L'tahar eschem, but also Lifnei Hashem Titaru, to stand Lifnei Hashem, that we should smell right, we should be completely clean, that we could stand in front of the king. And that is the final part of that pasuk. We said in the Slichas, every single day that we said Slichas, Al Tashlicheni Milfanecha. We ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the words of David HaMelech. David HaMelech is telling us that the worst thing for a Jew, or the worst place for a Jew to be, is to have that feeling of hashlacha, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sort of, so to speak, throwing us out. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us, no, I don't want you. So we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Al Tashlicheni Milfanecha. The one thing we want is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't say that you don't want to have anything to do with us. And then Nesivos Shalom says something very, very beautiful and very, very deep over here. You know, a person wants to be able to know when we need to improve. and when we want to and need to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Leiv tahor b'rali elikim, and then another thing, V'ruach nachaim chadesh b'kirbi. We ask Hashem for a leiv tahor. We ask Hashem that we want to be pure. We don't want to have that bad smell. We want to be able to come and be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't want that hashlocha. Al tashlicheni l'fanecha. We want to always be close to Hashem. But we want to have that deep connection to Hashem. But besides that, we also ask Hashem, V'ruach nochaim chadesh b'kirbi. And you know what? The Nesivos Shalom tells us something very deep here. Don't let the Yetzer Hara keep telling us that everything that we do is fine, and we're okay, and we're doing great, and we should keep slapping us on the back and say, don't worry, you're doing great, pal. Because then at the end of the year, we find out that we weren't so good at all. We want that we should have a close enough relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us the feeling inside when things aren't right. That we should know that we have to do tshuva. That we should feel uncomfortable because we're not close enough to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we say, Al tashlicheni l'fanecha. Don't ever have us be thrown out. We want to be close. But V'ruach nachai chadesh b'kirbi. Let us know. Let it be straight. Let us have some idea. Let us feel that we're not close enough to Hashem. That we need to improve that relationship. And the Nesivos Shalom tells us that when it comes to Yom Kippur, we all have that feeling. Hashem is good to us. He gives us that feeling to know that when we come to tomorrow night, we need to just say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yeah, I know you didn't throw me out, but I want to be closer to you. I know that my relationship was not good enough with HaKadosh Baruch Hu this past year. And we're able to improve our relationship in every way of the pasuk. We're able to improve the outside and the inside. And we're also able to improve the things that just didn't smell right. That may have not been usher, but Hashem didn't want us as a Jew to act this way. And Hashem wants all of us to take advantage of all three parts of the pasuk. It's going to come to Yom Kippur. Hashem wants us to improve on the outside. And then He wants us to improve on the inside. But especially Hashem wants us to improve that we, like we said, that we smell good, that we're able to come in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're able to face the King and Kedoshim to you, to know that we acted as a Jew and we are accepting on ourselves to improve the little things, the big things. It became in fashion to say that everybody should accept, and we know, don't accept more than you think you can do. But besides the little things, it's okay to think about big things also on Yom Kippur. If you did big things wrong, it's okay to think I'm going to improve the big things too. Let's get on the road and understand that Hashem wants us back completely. Hashem wants us this Yom Kippur to come and say we want to be closer to Hashem. It's not good enough. Our relationship wasn't good enough. And that's what Hashem wants to see. That we want, Al tashlicheni l'fanecha. Hashem, no matter how far or close we are, we want to be closer. And tomorrow night, when we come into Yom Kippur, is the time to begin that. Let us begin to understand. Yes, everybody knows. Every Jew in the world knows that Yom Kippur is coming tomorrow night. But now we're going to know what to do with Yom Kippur. And how to improve our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, beginning tomorrow night.